Hello, friendos! My name is Nez, and today we're going to be checking out some of the most useful resources in Arknights. I've been using plenty of these throughout my almost 2 years of playing. So anyway, starting with our first website, if you're an Arknights player, this is probably your most used website because it has the most generic information and it has one of the most up-to-date guides in the game. So we have the Arknights Wiki on Gamepress. So the Gamepress Wiki is actually pretty great because it has a lot of very up-to-date content. We have live events going on. We have the rerun events going on. It even has CN content. You could use this wiki to check out all of your favorite operators. We're not gonna go too deep into these websites because they got a shit ton of pages, but I just want to highlight a few feature articles or feature pages that these websites have. I think that the best resource that the Gamepress Wiki has, they got all of these. They got your best stages for farming efficiency, they got a lore library, they got guides and farming guides for current events. We're not gonna pull those up just yet. We have a simulator if you want to simulate the Gamba. They got the planner, the recruitment tool, and the tier list. I think the tier list is what most people gravitate through this website the most. It is a generic tier list that is in many ways useful for starting out the game and just learning about the game. Yeah, they got summaries about the skills of operators, they got overviews with a bit of flair in the writing. I always appreciate that about this wiki. It feels like the writers have their own voice. It's actually a pleasant read for most of the things written on this website, so the Gamepress tier list, while not definitive, it is a good resource just to get your bearings in learning the characters of the game. Our next website is the Arknights Experimental Terra Wiki. It's another wiki, but this one isn't hosted on fandom. So just like the Gamepress Wiki, it has all of the live content. It is pretty up to date with whatever is going on both on CN, Global, and it also has Taiwan apparently. So that's a useful feature for Taiwanese players. It's got a little fun fact section at the start. We have pinch out here for what's up and new. But I think the standout is actually their lore section. Their lore section is pretty comprehensive, not gonna lie. They got a whole timeline of every single event, every single important event that happened on Terra. As a story enjoyer, I would definitely like people to engage with the story of Arknights a lot more. Although, simply consuming the story of Arknights through a badly written wiki is actually detrimental to the game, so I appreciate that this wiki, the Terra Wiki, is actually pretty comprehensive. Not a lot of headcanon being inserted by writers and their biases. I do appreciate that about this wiki. They also got pretty comprehensive pages on different game modes, especially their IS pages, which has practically everything you need to know deeper about IS in the game mode. It even has the stories, your factions, explanation of everything. So far, the Terra Wiki is a very useful resource. The Toolbox is actually one of the most optimized websites for Arknights. Once again, it has the usual operator information, recruitment tags, infrastructure skills. It has enemy information, which is very useful. I think the best feature about Aceship's Toolbox isn't actually all of these, it's actually the CG gallery. This entire gallery has about every single image that they have in Arknights in the game. They got backgrounds, they got every single sprite of every single character that has shown up or been used in the game, even the ones with different expressions. It has images, your CG images that show up within the story. Okay, maybe I'm gonna blur these in the video just so it doesn't spoil people. If you're a content creator or if you're an artist that's looking for assets about the game, Aceship's Toolbox is actually the most useful resource because it has a rip of almost every single asset in the game. This website doesn't have the flashiest UI, but it does what it needs to do. You can check out their story reader, which is their main feature on AKG resources. With the story reader, you could actually play through almost every single story in Arknights while not actually in the game. It has almost every single event you could check out before and after of stages. It has side stories, operator records, modules, integrated strategies. If you feel like reading a wiki takes away from your immersion in getting into the world of Arknights, but you don't have certain operators so you can't experience their stories, you haven't unlocked them yet, you could just go through these. You could just check them out. It even has music that you could play while you're reading. It has background music and it changes while you're scrolling. So it's kind of immersive in a different way than just watching a YouTube video recording. So the story reader is definitely the standout feature on AKG resources. Aside from the story reader, I actually think one of the most interesting features they have about this website is the shop history. So if you don't already know, is that eventually, after a certain point in time, maybe like 6 months, an operator debuts in the standard banner, it becomes available in the gold search shop for gold certs. And you could actually use this timeline to see which operators would come next to the search shop. So moving on, we have Arknights Krooster. This is actually a collection manager where you could keep track of your entire collection in Arknights, but this is a gacha game. Unless you're a Leviathan, you're probably never likely to collect every single character in the game, but at least this website allows you to do just that. It has headhunting tools. If you want to learn the probability of pulling for certain characters on certain banners, this is actually a pretty useful tool in assessing your odds. You just input the number of pulls you're willing to spend. I'm gonna spend like 80 pulls on Typhon's banner, and you got 0 pity, so the chance of getting at least 1 rate up with 80 pulls on a 50% banner is actually 70%. These numbers are always pretty useful in just managing your expectations towards banners. There's a recruitment tool. This tool is actually the one I use the most because it has a compact UI. So anyway, there's that. If some of you are into collection, this may be a good website to get into. Penguin Statistics, the de facto drop website that researchers use to research the drops in all of Arknights. The most useful part of this website isn't actually getting into all the minutia of that. It's actually this, the farming strategy planner. You just input what you already have, let's say this, but you need a few more of those, and then you calculate which stages do you have to do. And it even calculates the amount of sanity you need, estimated XP you might get from battle records. It calculates the odds of actually getting the items from different stages. You could use this to plan out your route. So it's actually very useful in that way. Moving on to the actual spreadsheets, we have another material farming page in Spreadsheet with the API fetcher. They have a quick glance page if you just want to see whatever's the fastest or most efficient. The yellow search shop, what's the most efficient to actually get from the shops, whether it's more efficient to just farm them or more efficient to just pull them from the shop with certs. You could also see the value comparison of different packs. So you could see how much OP and value you get per sanity or in dollars. So overall, you can see the efficiency in packs here. The most simple page is the farming summary, and then you got event shop stuff, you got event stage stuff. So overall, one of the most useful Google Docs that we have. And then we have another Google Doc, the Arknights base combo guide. It's the community Google Doc for base combos if you need to optimize your base. It has new operators, special teams. They're all included here, like Mulesees. You got reviews of them, how well they fit into your base. You have your control center teams, and it shows you just how efficient they are compared to everyone else. It's one of the most useful websites, especially when you're just optimizing your base. You have your factory teams. You got your trading post teams with Shamari, Tequila, and Bybeak. I do like the reception room page because you could quickly see at a glance which operators have their clue bias. So yeah, overall, one of the most useful websites. Our last spreadsheet is actually DragonGJY's module ratings document. For those of you that don't know, DragonGJY is our resident module researcher on YouTube. He does a lot of great module videos, getting into the nitty-gritty of different modules and seeing how good they actually are or how bad they actually are. And this is just a spreadsheet version of all of his thoughts. These are mostly the 6 stars because those are the ones that you're actually going to focus on building up. It has his thoughts, it has the pros and cons, it has priority, recommended levels. It also has lower rarity stuff if you like playing low rarity knights. It has 5 stars and below. And there's that. These are the ones that are just worth using or worth building. If you friendos have your own recommendations of resources, you could leave your comments down below. Until our next video, my name is Nez and thanks for watching. I'ma see you all next time, friendos. Bye-bye.